The phone's blue glow burned my eyes in the dark kitchen. Her text searing itself into my brain. Don't wait up. Late meeting with the team. My thumb hovered over the screen, trembling. The clock ticked past midnight. The house silent except for the hum of the fridge and the uneven thud of my heart. I typed, deleted, typed again. Hope you and Mark have fun. I hit send before I could rethink it, my stomach twisting as the message flew into the void. Seconds later, her reply lit up the screen. What do you mean? The panic in those 4 words was palpable, like a scream muffled by distance. My breath caught. I'd meant it as a jab, half joking, half bitter. But her response, it was too quick, too raw. Something was wrong. The living room felt cavernous as I sank into the couch, the cushions cold against my back. The faint scent of her lavender perfume lingered on the throw blanket, a cruel reminder of mornings when we'd curl up here, her head on my chest, laughing over nothing. Now, the room was a stage for doubt, the shadows cast by the streetlight outside stretching like accusations across the walls. Had she been lying? Mark was her co-worker, her work husband, she'd joked once, her eyes sparkling. I'd laughed then, brushing it off. But the late nights had piled up, meetings, deadlines, drinks with the team. Always the team. Never just her. I scrolled through our texts, hunting for clues. A week ago, grabbing coffee with Mark to go over the pitch. 2 weeks ago, Mark says I'm killing it at work. Wish you could see me in action. My jaw tightened. Each message was a pinprick, innocent on its own but bleeding together into something uglier. I remembered the way she'd started locking her phone. Her screen angled away when she typed. The way she'd linger in the bathroom after a shower, the faint buzz of her phone vibrating against the sink. I told myself it was nothing. Stress, work, my own paranoia. But now, her panicked "what do you mean?" echoed in my skull, and I couldn't unhear it. The front door creaked open at 1:47 a.m. My pulse spiked, but I stayed still, the phone heavy in my hand. Her heels clicked softly on the hardwood, hesitant, like she was testing the air. Josh. Her voice was tight, a thread about to snap. I didn't answer. She stepped into the living room, her silhouette framed by the hallway light. Her blouse was slightly untucked, her hair loose, a strand clinging to her cheek. She looked beautiful, and I hated her for it. You're still up, she said, her tone caught between relief and fear. She dropped her purse on the side table, the clink of her keys deafening in the quiet. I saw your text. What was that about? I forced a smile, my lips dry. Just a joke, Sarah. You know Mark. Your work buddy. My voice was steady, but my hands shook, hidden in my lap. Her eyes flickered, searching mine. And for a moment I saw something, guilt maybe, or just exhaustion. She laughed, but it was thin, brittle. You scared me, she said, crossing her arms. I thought you were serious. She moved to the couch, sitting on the edge, her body angled away from me. The space between us felt like a chasm. It was just a long day. The project's a mess, and we were all scrambling. Mark too. The question slipped out, sharp as a blade. Her shoulders stiffened, and the air in the room grew heavy, like the moment before a storm breaks. Of course, she said too quickly. The whole team was there. She reached for my hand, her fingers cold. Josh, you don't think something's going on, do you? I wanted to believe her. God, I did. Her eyes were wide, pleading, the same eyes that had looked at me on our wedding day, promising forever. But there was a tremor in her voice, a crack in the facade. I pulled my hand back, the motion slow, deliberate. Why'd you panic then? I asked, my voice low, barely above a whisper. When I mentioned Mark. You texted back like you'd been caught. Her lips parted, but no sound came out. The silence was suffocating, stretching into seconds that felt like hours. Then she stood, pacing to the window, her reflection ghostly in the glass. I panicked because it hurt, she said finally, her back to me. That you'd even think that. That you'd throw his name at me like I'm some kind of liar. The words stung, but they didn't land right. They were too polished, too rehearsed. I stood, my legs unsteady, and crossed to her. Sarah, look at me. She didn't turn. Look at me, I said again, sharper. She faced me, her eyes wet, her jaw set. Tell me there's nothing going on. Tell me I'm crazy. You're crazy, she said, but her voice broke, and a tear slipped down her cheek. My chest tightened, a mix of rage and grief clawing at my ribs. I wanted to shake her, to scream, to beg her to make it untrue. Instead, I stepped back, my hands clenched into fists. "Show me your phone," I said. It wasn't a question. Her face paled, and for a moment, I thought she'd refuse. But she walked to her purse, her movements jerky, and pulled out her phone. She hesitated, then handed it to me, the screen locked. "Unlock it," I said, my voice cold. She typed in the code, her fingers shaking, and I opened her messages. There it was, a thread with Mark, dozens of texts stretching back months. My vision blurred as I scrolled. "Miss you already. Can't wait for tomorrow. You make this job bearable." My knees buckled, and I gripped the counter to stay upright. "Josh, it's not what you think," she said, her voice rising, desperate. "We're just friends. It's just stupid flirting. It doesn't mean anything." "Doesn't mean anything?" I spat, holding up the phone. "This is you telling him you miss him. This is you sneaking around lying to me." My voice cracked, and I hated how weak it sounded. "How long, Sarah? How long have you been doing this?" She sobbed, covering her face. "It's not physical. It's just, I don't know. He listens to me. He gets me. You've been so distant, Josh, always working, always distracted." "Don't." I cut her off, my voice a growl. "Don't you dare blame me for this." The room spun, the walls closing in. I wanted to believe it was just words, just a fantasy. But the truth was there, in black and white, in the way she couldn't meet my eyes. I turned and walked to the door, grabbing my keys. "Where are you going?" she cried, following me. "Josh, please, we can fix this." I stopped, my hand on the doorknob, my heart splintering. "I don't know if we can," I said, my voice barely audible. I stepped into the night, the cold air biting my skin. And as the door clicked shut behind me, I heard her sob, a sound that would haunt me forever. In my pocket, her phone buzzed, a new message from Mark. "You okay?" I didn't read the rest. I didn't need to.